teachers agreement. If we could all stand for the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, we have patron comments. I believe we have two individuals wanting to speak. Go ahead, whoever wants to go first.
Members of the board and the community, my name is Jim Savage, and I teach the advanced manufacturing pathway classes at Angola High School, and I'm also the vice president and bargaining chair for the Angola Classroom Teachers Association. We are pleased that our negotiating teams have reached a tentative agreement on a new collective bargaining agreement. This milestone is a direct result of the continued effort on both sides of the table to find common ground. The time, dedication, and professionalism shown by the administration and the Teachers Association was exemplary. We believe this agreement is employee-friendly and represents a modest yet valuable investment in our teaching staff, who are the backbone of our district's success. The entire process was characterized by a genuine sense of goodwill between the Teachers Association and the administration. That foundation of respect was critical in bridging our differences and achieving what we believe to be a fair outcome. While we have reached this initial agreement, we must all remember that it is tentative and subject to the formal ratification process by both the association membership and the school board. The teachers' bargaining unit will meet tomorrow afternoon at the high school media center to hopefully ratify this agreement. Moving forward, we remain guarded in our short-term and long-term outlook due to ongoing legislative uncertainty at the state level. We need to stay focused and diligent as we continue to work together to ensure that we can maintain current programming for our students, appropriate class sizes in all our buildings, and a teaching staff that feels respected. As the cost of providing high-quality education continues to rise, our district continues to face major challenges due to shrinking state resources and funding that simply has not kept pace. The structural deficit forces us to seek alternatives to maintain our current programs and competitive staff compensation. We, the Teachers Association, encourage the administration and the board to continue to explore ways to stem the tide of these reductions through whatever means possible. And we look forward to the ratification process and the formal adoption of this new agreement, which we believe will serve our students and our staff well. Thank you for your time this evening and for your upcoming time in the next week as we work toward ratifying this agreement. Thank you.
He talks to older people, like, you know, children that aren't 6 and 7, so forgive me if mine's not as, ready? Good evening. My name is Erin Fulton. I am a first grade teacher at Carlin Park Elementary, and I have taught for 15 years, 13 of those years being at MSD. I'm the current president of Angola Classroom Teachers Association with my VP. On behalf of ACTA, I would like to praise the recently concluded contract negotiations process. Our bargaining sessions with the administrative team were characterized by fair collaboration, mutual respect, and a shared focus on the educational well-being of our students. We appreciate the open communication and dedication the administration demonstrated in reaching an agreement for our teachers while being fiscally responsible for our district. The success of this process is a testament to the strength of our partnership, and we look forward to continuing this positive and productive working relationship. Thank you.
Board, good evening. You do have in front of you a tentative teacher agreement. I'd like to take a minute. I want to thank Aaron and Jim and their team of negotiating professionals who came to the table. We sat in this very room and had great conversations. It was very collegial. It was back and forth, and we were always looking to build a better mousetrap, and lots of good ideas came out of it. So I really appreciate the way that they came in and did some things. So I've been in some different school districts where negotiating with teachers hasn't always gone over very well. This has probably been the best time as far as negotiating with teachers that I've ever had with my experience. So again, I commend you guys on an outstanding job and appreciate your collaborative nature. Board, in your tentative agreement, you do have a 2-year plan. So this is a 2-year agreement that we came up with. It was 1 year we looked at, but we felt it best to look at a 2-year. There are some things that go with the 2-year agreement. I think the settle, when you look at money and get to the really heart of the matter, it's a 3-year $3,000 and a $2,000 incentive package for year 1 and then 2,000 in year 2. So there are some things that are caveats. We try to look at lots of different things like a master's degree, and we looked at academic needs and some of those hard to fill positions. The state put a requirement of literacy endorsement and, their emphasis on the literacy education. So those are all combined throughout our compensation plan in year 1 and both year 2. So we did kind of go through this line by line and section by section. So there's a few changes in there but for the most part, it is pretty much kind of the same as what we have done currently. So with that, I will entertain any questions from you, and after questions, we do need to vote on this tentative agreement so that we can kind of keep moving forward. As teachers, hopefully ratification goes well tomorrow, and as we do move forward, attorneys will look at it to make sure that we are compliant with all the ERB requirements that we have to stay in tune with, and statutory things that we need to make sure that we are staying on top of. So there may be a little bit of changing with verbiage and line items, but we will bring it back to you prior to ratification for you to look at it. Teachers will get it too when we get it back from our school attorney, and then we'll work from there. So great process. We're just trying to move it forward. And just a reminder, we do have to have it all done by November 15th. That's really kind of the line where we need to make sure that we have it completed. Questions?
No questions? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the tentative agreement.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor, Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Surrey.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. That concludes our tentative teacher agreement meeting. I'd like to call to order I gotta do that again, don't I? There, now we're back in. Call to order the October 21st MSD of Steuben County Board of Trustees regular business meeting. First up, we have patron comments. Did we have any others? All right. Next up, we have approval of minutes. We've received the minutes from the September 16th regular meeting and the appropriations hearing. Are there any further discussions regarding the minutes? If not, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor. Aye. Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Surrey.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Next, approval of claims. Any questions, comments regarding the claims? If not, do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the claims.
I'll second that.
Vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Aye. Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Surrey.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Personnel considerations. Dr. Wiedenhofer.
Just a couple of personnel items. The first one on here, we do have a Jessica Ballinger. She is out here. We want to bring to your attention that she will be doing student teaching in our school corporation, and then she'd also like to do subbing. So because it's a dual purpose role, we want to bring that to you just to make you aware of that. So we'll have you vote her in, and then we'll go ahead and do the rest of the personnel report.
I'll second that.
The vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor. Aye. Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. The remaining personnel considerations.
Board, in your packet, you do have our personnel considerations for this evening. I ask that you approve those personnel considerations as presented in your folder.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve as reported.
I'll second that.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald.
Yes.
Mr. Beard.
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart.
Yes.
Mr. Poor. Aye. Mr. Ridenhour.
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Motion carries. Special reports, Dr. Raylu and Michelle Davis.
So, Board, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Michelle Davis. She is our entrepreneurship teacher at Angola High School, and she has had a foundation grant the past year and has done some amazing work with students and had some incredible opportunities, and so we'd like for her to share with you this evening.
Teach at the high school. I am involved with a group called the Started Up Foundation. So some quick background on me. I got my accounting degree in '99, my education degree in 2010. So when the opportunity opened for me to teach business classes, I jumped at it. I still work in the accounting field, have ever since I was in college. I first taught 4 years in 4th grade at Ryan Park, then 5 years in 5th grade. This is my 4th year at the high school. My first year was math, and my last 3 years have been business management and entrepreneurship classes. All of my classes are dual credit. Just through my classes, Angola High School students will receive 1,044 college credits this year through mine. To be licensed to teach dual credit through Ivy Tech, I had to go through some RISE training in South Bend. Through that training, I heard about this group called the Started Up Foundation and a pitch competition they have. So I reached out, applied, got accepted to their accelerator program. It comes with a lot of benefits. Their main thing is they teach students to see problems as opportunities. So we're teaching them to think outside of the box and search for solutions, not just point out problems. They have a pitch competition. It comes with full curriculum videos. They work on lean business models. They do their own pitches. They come with their own business ideas. They have these, they call them fireside chats. Last year we had one with Jesse Cole, the owner of Savannah Bananas. Shared his whole story, really inspiring. He has a great story. Super engaging. The kids loved it. We have, again, the full curriculum at no charge. Does not cost MSD anything. I have monthly Zoom calls with fellow educators just in the state of Indiana. Last year, I took 30 of my students down to the regional pitch competition so they could see fellow Indiana students, what they were accomplishing, what they're capable of. And then I applied for, at the end of last year, and was chosen as an innovation fellow. So I got to attend their 2025 Washington, D.C. immersion trip. We took the top 9 teams from the state of Indiana for this high school competition. None were from Angola yet. And we went in June. Day 1, we just did some sightseeing, team dinner. Didn't even arrive until afternoon. I had 24,000 steps that day. We walked a lot, saw a lot of things. On day 2, we took all of our kids we went to the Kroc Institute for Tech Diplomacy. At most of these places, they also got to practice their pitch in front of them. We went to Anduril. They have it's a defense company. They had some really cool things they showed them. New weapons they have with drones, ways that they're monitoring the borders, things like that. We went to Link Strategic Partners. They are very community-based, helping companies spread their word about their mission and their cause. We also attended an entrepreneurship ecosystem panel. IU hosted that. There was all kinds of business people there, listened to their pitch, talked about their stories, their struggles, asked the kids questions. Day 3, we went to Pinkston. That one was really cool. They work a lot in crisis management. So they worked with every group of students there with their business ideas, had them brainstorm the worst possible crisis that could happen with their business and how they would handle it. They teach them to get out ahead of it and be honest about all of it. We had a networking event with the Hoosier Hub.
There was multiple people from the DC area there. We also went to the US Chamber of Commerce. On day 4, we met with some government officials. 2 that we met with was the Indiana Senator Todd Young, and we also met with Congresswoman Erin Houchin. They got to ask them questions. They also quickly shared their real quick elevator pitch with them. So then how does this apply to Angola High School? How does this benefit? It has led me to hold my students to a higher standard. I have seen high school students and what they can do, so now I know what our kids can do. I will share my inspiration with them, hopefully inspire them, share the stories of students their age and what they've accomplished to help to inspire them to more. I'll always teach my students to view problems as opportunities. We quite often will brainstorm. We started with Angola High School, for example, things that bother them, things that they think are problems there, and we worked on solving some of them. Right now, we're going through the city of Angola, what they think the city of Angola, how they could improve. I will always use my connections that I've made to help better serve my students. We've had several speakers through Zoom calls with them, just a lot of opportunities in that way. And I will always do my best to continue to bring opportunities to our students in this small community. That's it. Any questions? How many are in my, it's 3 years. The first year right now I have 31.
So it's just starting this year?
No, this is the 3rd year of it. So I have some in the 3rd pathway class already.
So they start as a sophomore?
They can start as a freshman. Yes. I have freshmen through seniors mixed in my classes. They also, I should have mentioned, the 2nd year class, they are required to participate in this pitch competition. And that also counts as points for the new state requirements for graduation. That specific contest is mentioned in there. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, excuse me. Old business, policy 4111, the first reading by Mr. Wagner.
If you bear with me, this is a little confusing. What I'm asking is for a first read to policy update 4111. And I've highlighted in that policy the additions. And later on in the new business 7.5, I will be talking specifically about those updates to that policy. So I'm asking for approval for a first read to policy 4111, and then we'll go more specific into it once we get to 7.5.
Good evening. So tonight we are asking for budget adoption and the associated resolutions. So if you remember, this has been going on kind of since maybe May, even maybe a little bit in April, but officially since August. We did a workshop in August, hearing in September, and now we're asking for approval and adoption in October. So if these are all adopted, what will happen next, we'll upload everything to Gateway tomorrow. And then after that, the state will kind of take over, and so the DLGF will look at all of our forms, make sure that everything looks right. They'll modify some stuff, which I'll talk about on letter F here, 7.1F. And then they'll give us a chance, once they send it back, they'll give us a chance to respond to that, with what's called a 1782 notice. And then we have 10 days to respond to that 1782 using the authority granted in letter F, so I'll explain that when we get there. But once that's done, then after that 10 days, or once we say it's final and we agree to it, then that becomes final, and that becomes our 2026 budget for MSD Steuben. So happy to answer any questions, and certainly as I'm going through here, happy to answer any questions. But this first one is the 26 budget adoption, which in your packet is Form 4. So you see at the top of Form 4, you've got like a paragraph of kind of what went on, like, you know, where the hearing was held and all that kind of stuff. And then below the blue line is where you're going to see like the the levy, the rate, and the budget that we're asking you to adopt. Those are, levy and the rate in particular are generally, in this case is no exception, higher than what is going to be allowed. So if you remember, like particularly in the debt service, we have we talked about an anticipated debt payment that was in there, and we put that intentionally high to make sure that the school has maximum flexibility after that bond's sold, and at closing to make sure that we manage the tax rate and the tax levy accordingly. And so if it's advantageous to say pay back, if it's more advantageous to pay back like $1 million next year instead of $1.5 million, then we could have some flexibility to do that. Vice versa, if it's more advantageous to pay off $1 million instead of $500,000, we could do that. And so we don't know that until the bonds close, so we advertise that high in the debt service, on the debt service side of things. And then during that 1782 period, we bring all that back down, the levy and the rate, to the rate that the board is comfortable with, or the levy the board's comfortable with. Going forward, it would likely be the levy, but I think we can do one more year of rate, and then before Senate Enrolled Act 1 kind of takes over, and we have to look at levy after that. So, and then Form 4 also, I think it's on the back of yours. It's 2 pages because there's the signatures wouldn't fit on 1 page, and so you're going to be asked to sign that. Make sure you check the box yes or no on how you voted, and then if not, the DLGF doesn't recognize that as a vote. They see your signature, but they don't recognize that as a vote as yes or no. So make sure you check the box, and then the secretary has to sign that one. Has to sign all these twice, so you'll be asked to sign twice. Any questions there?
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we vote to approve as presented.
I'll second.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Aye. Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturdy.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Next up would be the bus replacement plan.
So next, we, at the hearing in September, we went through the 5-year bus replacement plan, so 2026 through 2030, based on the assumption that the useful life of a bus is actually 12 years, but the state requires a 5-year replacement plan. So we did our hearing, we kind of went over that. As you know, the prices of buses right now are kind of in flux. They continue to increase just like anything else, but I do see the delivery time shrinking a little bit. Like we're out like 12, 14, 16 months. I do see that shrinking a little bit, not a ton. But anyway, we're asking for the approval of the 26 through 30 bus replacement plan, and if you'd like to answer any questions on that.
We can back out of any of them we don't want, since they take so long to get here, correct? Because we don't do POs for them anymore, correct?
Yeah, we actually had to do that, was that last month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, where we had money appropriated at the time and a need for the bus when we ordered it. When we finally got word that the bus was going to be in, we no longer had a need for it. And so we talked to the company, and they agreed to take that. I wouldn't say take it back because we never had possession of it. They agreed to not sell it to us and find somebody that would purchase it instead. So.
Because this is all verbal, basically. Like I said, we don't do POs anymore, correct?
Depends. Sometimes there is a PO, sometimes not, but,
Why? They don't, the
Yeah, I
price
know.
on there means nothing. They
I
can
know.
jack it up from what it's on there.
yeah, and the vendor here told me they've not done that. Like whatever's on the PO, they've stuck to it. I do know vendors that have done that before, but the vendor here has said that they've not done that. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
So if we can back out on them, can they back out on us?
I guess I've never gone down that path,
I
but
want to go down that path, I'm saying.
Yeah.
If everything's verbal,
They won't sell them. They're gonna take it and who's ever coming in next to them.
right?
yeah.
They say the bus is coming in, you issue the check, you take it out when it comes in. They already want their money in there.
Yeah,
Who determines if you need the bus or you don't need the bus?
So generally, that happens at the Transportation Department through conversations with Dr. Wiedenhofer as well. From our standpoint on the budget side of things, the money's either there or it's not there. And so if we say, hey, Dr. Wiedenhofer, the money's there, And then he talks to transportation and they figure out whether they actually need it or not.
We actually had 2 buses ordered, and we really we took one, just because we're a little nervous about Senate Bill 1 and what that comes at. That's part of your operations. We do have enough buses in reserve, so, we may have to, you heard him say, the average use or that, 12-year bus, we may go past that a little bit. All that means is now we have to have two inspections every year instead of just one. So talking with Paul and talking with Dr. Penrod, we felt pretty good about, let's do away with the one bus right now. Let's take the one that we really needed, which is a larger capacity bus, to replace part of our aging fleet, but we still had enough of them back in reserve that we felt like we could keep going. Because until we see a little bit with more clarity on what the legislature is going to do with school funding, I felt it more prudent that we just kind of keep that money back here in our accounts versus put that stuff out for right now.
So we have enough sub buses to cover, we're okay.
Correct.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the bus replacement plan.
I'll second that.
The vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next up, the capital project resolutions.
Okay, this one is similar to the bus replacement. We had a hearing back in September, this 3-year plan, excuse me, the 26, 27, and 28 plan. And so this resolution also looks similar in format to the bus replacement plan. You'll sign on the side that you vote on at the bottom of the page, and then the secretary would sign twice. Questions on that one?
Do we have a motion on the capital projects plan?
I make a motion that we approve the capital projects resolutions.
I'll second that.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Next up will be the resolution transfer amounts from education fund to operations.
On the transfer of education operations funds. So a couple different things to point out here. We're asking for the same resolution basically to pass this year as passed last year. And it says up to 15% of the state tuition support to move from the education operations fund. Same resolutions last year that we asked for in 24 to be for 25 budget. In 25, the school has not transferred any money from the education operations fund. So you might ask, why are we going to ask for this resolution again if we're not going to transfer anything? A couple different reasons. One, I suppose, is just in the case of an emergency, which I don't really see that happening, but it is better to do it this way than not have permission to do it. And then the other reason is DLGF will ask us for this during the budget process when they ask us for all the forms that we have. One of the forms that they want to see is the resolution. And so I guess to assure you, though, when we built the budget on Form 2, which is a miscellaneous revenue form, they ask what your education operations fund transfer is, and we put $0 in there. And so the budgets you passed on 7.1A are reflective of the budgets without an education operations fund transfer. So again, I guess semantics to a certain extent that we're asking for this to be passed, but there's no intention of transferring education operations money. Again, the state allows us up to 15%, but MSD of Steuben has been 0 for at least this year, I think last year too, if I remember right.
All right, any other questions? If not, do we have a motion?
I have a question first.
Sure.
So do we vote then if we transfer the funds or how?
Some boards do that different ways. You're certainly entitled to do that if that's what the board wishes, yeah.
I was just wondering how we did it. We haven't done it, but yeah.
Yeah, since we haven't, I don't even remember, like, maybe when.
Never done it. We're one of the few school corporations that have never moved their ed fund monies over to cover for operations. So we're a very small company with that a little bit. So that was kind of part of our conversations with the Teachers Association,
that affects, compensation and monies that are in the pot to cover. So I think some of the things is that we're also asking for this because, again, we're gonna have a substantial amount of money that we may have to end up covering in our operations account just due to Senate Bill 1. So we wanna be able to have that option if we do need to transfer those funds, that those funds are available and we can do so. Because in order to do that, and Dr. Penrock, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we do need to do that, we don't have to do the resolution. It's kind of a lengthy process to get everything done in order to, when we might need to be able to do it.
So the money from Senate Bill 1 has to come out of education or operations, or does it have to come out of?
Well, not education for sure. Operations and maybe debt, depending on the structure of the debt and what kind of debt it is and a bunch of other stuff. But
Funds that can come out of?
yes, but definitely not education. Now, this is kind of a rabbit hole to a certain extent, but if it comes out of debt and at some point there's too much coming out of debt, you still have to pay your debt back, which means it would come from operations to the debt, so operations would lose more.
So debt service.
Yeah, but in this case, the education fund would not lose money from Senate Bill Act 1.
And Mr. Surrey, if we were moving those funds, if we approved that resolution tonight, even when we did do that, we'd still bring it back to you to make you aware that we see a need, that we need to transfer those funds to the amount.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion for the resolution for transfers?
So moved.
I'll second that.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 6-0. Transfer of appropriation resolution.
So this one is more of a year-end resolution, but it's in order to balance the appropriation at the end of the year. So for instance, if the education fund has a couple lines in it or some lines in it that are not spent to zero, like one might be overspent, one might be underspent, and so this would balance that out. And so the bottom line of the education fund or the operations fund, whatever fund it is, wouldn't change, but within the fund, it would change it would, like if a high school salary is overspent, but an elementary salary is underspent, then it would move there to zero everything out. So we'll run two sets of reports there, one as an actual to show what we actually spent as far as the appropriation goes, even if it was overspent or underspent. And then once we run that, we'll run another one to show everything zeroed out to make sure that, we're not showing overspent. So one for record keeping, one for accuracy, basically.
Do we have a motion for the budget appropriations transfer?
Make a motion that we accept.
I'll second.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Thank you. Motion carries 6-0. Last, here we have the appropriations reduction.
So this resolution is one I mentioned during the 1782 period. So one of the ways to manage tax rate and tax levy is to modify the 2026 budget, what's left in the 2025 budget, meaning the budget appropriation, and then the cash balance in each fund. And so this is particularly useful with debt on the cash balance side of things, but it's useful on the appropriation side and the operations and education fund. So back when we put the budget together, you're looking at, July, maybe early August, and trying to predict what the expenditure is going to be from that point to December 31. So you've got 5.5 months to kind of guess, for lack of a better word, what that's going to look like, estimate what that's going to look like. When you're in Gateway, which is the DLGF site that we submit these budget forms, it assumes you're going to spend everything. So if you have a $10 million budget and you only spend $4 million the first 6 months, it's going to assume you're going to spend $6 million the second 6 months. However, logic might tell you if you spend $4 million the first 4 months, you'll spend around $4 million the second 4 months. And so this resolution would allow us to reduce the appropriation for 2025 based on actual expenditures instead instead of estimated expenditures. And then in my scenario there, we would get that $2 million back, the difference between 6 million and 4 million, to roll into 26 to fund the 2026 budget. So that's how you would cut what's called line 2, which is 2025 appropriation. The reduction is just that. We're reducing that appropriation because it's actual expenditures instead of estimated. And then we could also ask the DLGF to reduce our cash balance. That particularly works in the debt service fund, where a school doesn't need to collect taxes just to collect taxes, right? You're not trying to make a profit. You're not a bank. And so you need to collect the taxes to pay your bills, but you don't need to overtax on the debt service side of things. So this resolution allows us to lower the cash balance, which effectively lowers the levy, which then lowers the rate back to where we want it. And so all of that takes place, the authority of this resolution takes place within that 10-day period. And then once that's over, the resolution expires and we'll have to ask for it again next year.
Any questions? Do we have a motion on appropriations reduction?
I make a motion that we approve the appropriation reduction.
I'll second that.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Next up, Dr. Relu, parentable curriculum.
Board, I'm asking your approval for a new, basically module that we'll be adding to the health curriculum at Angola High School. So this is something that all students will experience starting in the second semester. This is a curriculum that actually came about from a student group. So I love that Michelle was here kind of sharing how students see a problem and look for solutions. And they worked to create this curriculum that now has been legislated in the state of Illinois and is being piloted in all schools there. So we're excited to be able to bring this to you. So our students, before they become parents, can learn about parenting and caregiving, give them awareness, knowledge, skills for caring for children, their physical, mental, and emotional well-being. This did go through our regular textbook review process, so the teachers who will be teaching the course reviewed it. That included the department chair, parent review, and then obviously my review. So making this recommendation to you this evening. This will be paid for out of Title IV funds, which there's a section there for safe and healthy schools, and that falls under that piece. It is. So all of the title grants actually have been awarded to the states. So the states now manage those funds. So we're good this year. Yes. Very happy about that piece. It is. It's 8 days of instruction with 2 days built in for a project, a culminating project at the end. So 10 days of instruction. And the teachers said there's a place that aligns very nicely with the existing curriculum, and they had room and felt the need to make space for that to happen.
Do we have a motion?
I don't know if I can pronounce it. I make a motion, we approve the parentable curriculum.
I'll second.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Motion carries 6-0.
Question. This is more sophisticated than we used to carry around bags of flour.
I was thinking eggs.
I think when the girls dropped the bag of flour in the cafeteria and cleaned it out for like 2 months, you know, this is more sophisticated than that. I clarify, thank you.
All right, school improvement plans, Title I plans, Dr. Relu.
Board, in your packet, you have summaries of each of the school improvement plans. So I'd like to briefly walk you through those. I'm going to start with the Angola High School plan. You'll see in their data there that their goal is to increase by 2% on the SAT what the prior year's PSAT score was. So looking at the 10th grade PSAT, they were at 53% of the students reaching the college-ready benchmark. Their goal is for 55% of students then to be able to attain that benchmark on the SAT. I think it's commendable that we are at that level of performance. When we think about the percentage of students who are planning to go on to college, we really do have students all reaching the benchmark who have that aspiration. So happy with the progress that we're seeing there and the achievement of our students. You'll then see action steps listed of how teachers are working intentionally to prepare students for success in learning the standards and also preparing for that assessment. Next goal is around mathematics. The math data tells a little different story. You'll notice in the spring, the PSAT, 42% of our students are at benchmark, and then that drops off in 10th grade to 28%, and we drop even further when we're actually looking at the SAT. That's because the test changes. So when we go from PSAT 9 to SAT 10, there's additional content. When we go to the SAT, there's additional content. So that's where we're getting into that advanced mathematics being on the test, and not all of our students are taking pre-calculus and calculus before they're taking the SAT. So there's kind of a built-in ceiling for that test, but we certainly are working hard in the math department, doing some professional development at middle school and high school around mathematics, because we want to make sure that our students are also reaching the benchmark there who plan to go to college. So you can see the action steps laid out for math to attain that goal. And then goal number 3 is to maintain a graduation rate above 95%. And you can see the activities that are listed there to ensure that all of the students are passing their classes and meeting all of those graduation requirements. Any questions about the high school plan? Okay. Next up is the Angola Middle School plan. This plan has a target around I Learn Mathematics and I Learn English Language Arts. You can see that there is a goal to increase from a baseline of 5% for both of those subjects. And then you can see the action steps listed there. One thing that's new that is happening this year at the middle school are tier classes. So every teacher in the grade level actually has tier time at the same time. This kind of mirrors what we do at the elementary level with focus time, where they've got that time built in during the day for intervention. So teachers are able to get back their common formative assessment data and their iLearn checkpoint data and regroup students based on their performance on those assessments and really target the specific needs of those students based on that assessment data. So it's new and we're figuring it out, but it's an exciting opportunity that they've built into that schedule. Their third goal is around attendance. The state is in the process of finalizing the new accountability model for the state of Indiana. We will get new school letter grades for this school year. One of the success indicators for that is attendance. So you'll notice that there are attendance goals in the remaining school improvement plans to make sure that we're getting our students to school where they can learn best. So any questions about the middle school plan?
Does the state ask any regular schools, or do they just go on their own assumptions, not having been teachers or administrators?
So there are rounds of public comment. So they released the first draft of that accountability model, and public comment was open through August. Then they just, at the October 15th board meeting, State Board of Education meeting, released draft 2 of that, and there's a public comment period open now. There were over 400 educators who chimed in, and then community people, university people, other business stakeholders who are weighing in on that model. So it is available on the website. We certainly went through that in detail and mocked up all of our data to see where we were and provided input on that. All right. Next is Pleasant Lake Montessori. And you'll see, and in your online version, there's a hyperlink to their actual full school improvement plan. School improvement plans for Title I are about an 80-page document. There's a lot of information that schools put together annually for that. So I put the link there in case you want to look at that because we are asking for your approval. But the highlights are here. Again, you're going to see goals in all of these plans around iLearn mathematics proficiency, English language arts proficiency. They also have an attendance goal. And then the elementary schools all have that I Read 3 goal. So last year, Pleasant Lake actually had our highest percent of students passing I Read 3. They were 94% passing on the third grade assessment. Their iLearn scores, because they're doing the Montessori curriculum, are not as high as they would like them to be. So this year, they're really focusing on the Montessori correlation to the standard and making sure their assessments are mirroring what the standards are asking them to demonstrate on iLearn. Last year, we really said, focus on what you've been taught to do and get good at that piece, and we'll worry about test scores as more students go through that multi-year process. So questions about Pleasant Lake? You will see in the rest of the plans moving forward, the end of the document includes their year-by-year results side by side. So you can kind of look to see what their progression has been in each of those grade levels. Next is the Carlin Park School Improvement Plan. Again, you'll see an increase for mathematics and English language arts. Also a goal of reaching 92% on the I Read 3 assessment. That is a slight increase for them, but moving toward the 95% goal at the state level. We're all kind of shooting to be at 92, 93 for the upcoming year. And lastly, you'll see an attendance goal for them as well as the action steps for achieving each of those goals and their side-by-side data. Any questions on Carlin Park? Okay. Henry Park, same information. You'll see the math goal, English language arts goal, I Read 3 goal, and then you'll see their side-by-side data along with the action steps for how they plan to achieve those goals. And lastly is the Ryan Park Action Plan. You can actually see here the data is presented first. So you can see their I Read data stacked side by side for the last few years, as well as the English language arts and math proficiency. And you'll see that there has been an increase from last year to this year in each of those. And then you'll also see their attendance goal, where they were last year and where they are as of 9/26, kind of what their attendance looked like for this school year. On the next page, you'll see what their goals are for I Read, then for mathematics, then for English language arts and the action steps. Any questions on the Ryan Park plan? Okay, if not, I'd like your approval on each of the plans this evening.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the plans as presented.
Second that.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up would be the Ivy Tech dual credit MOU. Dr. Ayalou.
So board, in your packet, you have the memorandum of understanding with Ivy Tech. This particular MOU, bless you, is for the courses that our teachers teach for dual credit. So you'll see in Exhibit B Each of those dual credit courses and the teachers listed who are approved faculty to provide those. This is part of the list of the 1,044 credits that Michelle referenced that she teaches in the business department. But this is how we are able to offer the Indiana College Core. That's the 30 credits that transfer in as your freshman year. So all of these courses are free to our students. And through this partnership, we're able to offer that Indiana College Core, which is also part of the new diploma, the Honor Seal Plus, which is part of the new accountability model. So we're grateful that the teachers have worked hard to get their master's degrees in the disciplines to be able to teach these courses for dual credit. I'm asking your approval on the MOU for that this evening.
Do we have a motion for the MOU?
Make a motion, we continue the MOU with Ivy Tech.
I'll second it.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Mack,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, Mr. Wagner, Safe Hiring Solutions.
So to go back to policy 4111, I would like to ask for your approval to contract with Safe Hiring in the addition of the national DCS and arrest data. So to go back to the national DCS and what it is, currently for our employees that apply for positions with MSD, we only run an Indiana DCS report. That doesn't really provide us much information with employees that are coming from Ohio or Michigan. We're seeing more of an influx of people from those states applying for positions here with MSD. And so we believe it's important to now do a national DCS report so that it'll run a report through DCS for each state that they lived in. And then it would be on the employee to go back and submit the information to DCS of those states that they lived in, and then we would get that information. The arrest data is just a deeper dive into the background checks. So if the information has not transferred over to the background because they got arrested sometime in the near past, this would pull that arrest even though it hasn't been reported officially to their background checked. So again, it'd just be a deeper dive into that background. So it's actually going with real time, real data of that arrest record. So I'm asking you to approve each of those into our board policy 4111. And there are a little bit of an additional cost. It would be $595 for the national DCS onto the employee and $250 for the arrest data.
Okay, so any state you've lived in, you have to have one of those reports, correct? I had a bus driver that lived in 5 different states, and it took two-thirds of the year
To collect it.
to collect, because New York says, we're not in a big hurry, you know.
Right.
So we're stuck, Indiana's right on top of it, but it needs to be done, it's sort of, you know, that's unusual, you'd be in that many states, but.
And that's what Wendy's running into in HR. Each state does it a little differently, so some states take longer to collect the data to get it back to us. So it does slow down the process of getting the person hired.
Them, so you don't care. Bottom line.
So the fact that it takes a while longer and we employ them, we find out it's something that we do not want in our system, they can be let go. Are we under any
They can't get into them.
obligation?
They can't get into it.
Number one, we would wait for all those background checks to come back. I will tell you, the state of Michigan is awful on trying to get some of those things down. They always hold us up a little bit. Mr. Wagner is correct, and, you know, this is Wendy's issue too, is we have a lot of folks coming to us from Ohio and Michigan and coming. This is just another added layer of security for our kids. You know, this is going back to the safety issue a little bit. So,
They won't be hired until we get everything back.
correct.
Well, I think it's a great idea, and I'll go back and tell you a story, that we hired a
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the Safe Hiring Solutions edition of the National DCS and arrest data.
I'll second.
The vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes. Mr. Archibald, before you get going, and just to clarify, the reason we're doing this in two different pieces is because we wanted you to vote on the national DCS and arrest data because we want to implement that like tomorrow. On the other part is we have to kind of bring it back to you because our policy does say it's a two-read process for going there. So we looked at it as authorize this part so we can work on the safety aspect of it and put it into play, but we'll bring the second thing back to you because it is a two-read thing, so you'll vote on it again. And that 411 is always going to be a very fluid document. That's the one that seems to change the most in our policy from, month to month. So that's why you're kind of seeing it quite often this year already.
Thank you. Teacher evaluation system updates. Dr. Relu.
Board, I've included for your approval a few changes to the annual performance evaluation plan. The state has changed significantly the requirements around teacher requirements off the table. So all of those previous RISE requirements of how many observations and conferencing and all of that has been removed. We wanted to take advantage of that to provide more support to our first and second year teachers and our teachers that are on provisional licenses, and have our principals be able to spend more time in those teachers' rooms, but being able to give them feedback strictly on what they saw without having to go through the process of coding all of my observation notes to each indicator of the rubric. So what we are proposing is that teachers who are in their third year and beyond with MSD will have one informal observation and one formal observation that will be scripted and coded. That will take place between September 1st and March 31st. If a teacher would want to request an additional observation because they're not happy with the one time they came in, then they would still have time while the school year is up and running and classes are normal. We're not pushing it into finals week and that type of thing. So there would be time after March 31st where a principal could still get in and do that observation. For our first and second year teachers, and that's new to MSD, so it might be, I've taught somewhere else for 15 years, but it's my first year here. We're still gonna have those two informal, two formal, both scripted with pre-conferences, with post-conferences, and making sure that we're really getting our principals freed up to spend that additional time doing other observations with our newer teachers and ensuring they've got the support they need to be successful. So those are the changes here. I've included the entire policy for you, but that's the place where we made changes. And it's really summarized at the bottom of page 1. So everything is detailed there.
All right, do we have a motion?
Motion we accept the changes to the teacher evaluation performance.
I'll second.
The vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Lastly, we have the adjunct posting for the middle school ELA. Dr. Liu.
Board, we had a position become available at Angola Middle School for English Language Arts. This is an uncommon time of year to find a licensed candidate. So we have posted the position for a regularly licensed candidate, but we'd also like your permission to post this position as an adjunct position with the hopes that we will find somebody who has teaching experience who can come in and complete this position for this year.
Any questions?
How many adjunct teachers do we have employed right now? Ballpark.
I know we have one in music, and she is still working on her license, but has been teaching with us for 4 years.
The firefighters.
And the fire, that's right. I'm like, I knew there was another, all of the fire science instructors are adjuncts.
So how are they paid?
So the,
What's the scale?
the fire science are paid $30 an hour, and they turn in a timesheet each week.
And the one in the classroom is paid.
She is paid teacher salary, but she's considered a classified employee, follows the classified benefits, and then she clocks in and clocks out. But her rate is the teacher rate
Like a first-year
broken
teacher
into. We actually are paying her at the number of years' experience she has teaching because they've all been with us.
Gotcha.
And the adjunct license that we're
So this is not. Adjunct, the license is actually awarded by you, and there's no expectation from the board or the state that the teacher go through a transition to teaching program. Someone can be rehired annually as an adjunct instructor. That is not our goal for classroom teachers who would be hired as adjuncts. Our goal is that they would go through a transition to teaching program. And/or the candidate that Dr. Wienhofer referenced is somebody who actually has a license in another state, but it's not a reciprocal license. And so it's that process of getting that transferred and then adding the subject area of English language arts, which he now has proven his competence for, but we've got to jump through the hoops yet.
So at the end of the year, if they're not licensed, do we advertise that position?
We do advertise that position again, yes. And then our policy around that is if the licensed candidate is an equally or more highly qualified candidate, then we would go with that licensed candidate. If our adjunct candidate brings more skills, asset, background than a licensed candidate, we have the option to renew that adjunct person.
Do we have a motion?
I go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and approve.
I'll second that.
And the vote, please.
Mr. Archibald,
Yes.
Mr. Beard,
Yes.
Mrs. Maggart,
Yes.
Mr. Poor,
Aye.
Mr. Ridenhour,
Yes.
Mr. Sturry.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much. Lastly, here we have future meetings. All meetings are held here in this boardroom at the McCutcheon Admin Center Boardroom. Next one will be November 18th as a regular meeting, December 9th, a regular meeting, which will be a week early with the holidays, and January 13th, also a week early for a regular meeting there. Superintendent's report.
Yes, Board, thank you. Just a couple of things. We are hurriedly wrapping up the fall sports season, so I want to give a few shout outs a little bit because Mr. Ridenhour will correct me or catch me on one of the ones that I forget. But, congratulations to our band program. Again, what an outstanding program from Mr. Myers and Mrs. Shank. They are advancing to semi-state, I think, in the next week and a half. So to get out of regional with almost a perfect performance. If you talk to the directors, there's no such thing as a perfect performance. It was pretty good. So congratulate all of our band kids and the directors. Congratulations to our boys and girls cross-country programs. They'll be advancing to regionals. I think the boys finished second. Help me, Mr. Wagner. Is that right, Mom? Second, and the girls were fifth. So to get those groups moving on, that is outstanding. So rapidly finishing up a good season. Boys football hosting sectional this Friday, so it's Tippecanoe Valley, and a valiant effort by our girls volleyball team. And if I missed anybody, my apologies, but great season for sports and so forth. Just want to comment to the board, I know this is a year two where we've done a five-day fall break. Here's what I will tell you. Our teachers and our students loved it. I get a lot of great compliments from that. I'll get some parents who say that's way too many days. I will tell you, teachers and students have loved it. It was a good refreshing break. I've been out in buildings yesterday and today, and to see everybody get back to grind was outstanding, and it was a great transition. So we appreciate that flexibility in the school calendar. Want to give a shout out to Dr. Penrod. You heard it tonight for about a good 30 minutes. All the effort it takes to put in to do that budget and to work with a large budget of almost $40 million is not an easy task. And to look at all the Indiana code that goes with it and balancing it out to keep us in good financial standing. I just appreciate all the hard work that he does to do that. And I know he spends some time with you when you all have some questions. So very much appreciate that. And then we have the Teachers Association again, I just want to say thank you for a great bargaining time. Thank you for your hard work and effort and being open to new ideas and to working through some things. So very much appreciate each and every one of you. And I think Heather, where are you at? Are you sitting there? She is. She's back in the back, not sitting with. But I very much appreciate all your efforts and all the communication kind of back and forth. And lastly, I just want to leave some members in the room with this information, that if you had the chance to see the AP rankings for college football right now, Indiana University is ranked number 2. There's a number of Purdue fans in here, so I didn't see Purdue in the top 25, but I do want this noted for the paper, so if you could add that quote in there, that would be fantastic. So, but yes, outstanding. And we'll cut the mics off now. Dr. Manahan, the mics are off.
All right. If there's nothing more before the board, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn?
I'll second.